Now on Talking Solutions, we're going to talk about Windy 2.5 and tell you all about it. In studio with us, Craig Wilhelm, Dave Ramsey, and Shane Hubbard. Welcome, guys. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Craig, I'm going to start with you talking about Windy 2.5, especially to someone who's never been in the military. They probably don't know what that is.
Yeah. Windy 2.5 was the call sign of an aircraft that went down in Afghanistan on April 6th of 2005. It killed 5 of my soldiers, our soldiers here. Shane and Dave were in the unit with me, and 13 passengers for a total of 18. And so we created the Windy 2.5 Memorial Fund about 5 years after the accident to memorialize these soldiers and give their families something to remember them by. And so that's why we're in the studio today to talk about Windy 2.5 and what happened, but also the Memorial Fund that we created in their honor.
Can you tell us the story of what exactly happened that day? Were you all part of this flight, or what was your relationship to that incident?
So we had about 220 soldiers in the unit. I was the commander of the unit. Dave was a pilot and Shane was a flight engineer. They were probably flying at some point either that day or that week, but Windy 2.5 was a flight of 2, another aircraft, and they were flying in some pretty austere conditions. The weather was not so great, and because of that, a sandstorm came from out of nowhere. It's a sandstorm that we call a shamal that happens once every 14 to 20 years. That's significant. The aircraft hit that sandstorm and could not make it out of it and went down.
So it was an incredibly rare natural occurrence.
Right, in enemy territory. So as you can imagine, what a terrible situation that was.
Afghanistan, I've seen footage of some of the terrain, and when you mention austere, it's rough.
And the terrain that they were traveling in was austere in terms of the mountainous region that they were flying in. So tough conditions for sure.
So, Craig, as commander of Windy 2.5, you got word of the plane, the incident going
I did.
down?
About 10 o'clock that morning, which was local Afghanistan time, I got a call that said that there might be an aircraft that went down, a CH-47 Chinook U.S. Army helicopter. Immediately, we go into reaction mode and make sure that everybody is taken care of and that everybody's accounted for. And unfortunately, that day, 5 of my soldiers and the 13 passengers did not come home.
Did that storm continue? Did that make it difficult?
It did. The recovery effort took about 2 days and lasted for about 3 to 4 days to get the remains and the significant requirements that we had to take away from the accident site back to home station.
We were very proud here in Southern Nevada to have a really big contingent, both active duty and also our retirees who live in Southern Nevada. We've got about 150,000 people, and we appreciate their presence. I'm sure they understand all of this a lot better than I do, but what does that do? And guys, Dave and Shane, as members of the unit, when you encounter some kind of a loss like that, not just aircraft, but also people that you're serving with and other individuals who went down on that flight.
I'll let Dave and Shane answer themselves, but for me, as the commander, it's a big weight on your shoulders and responsibility for so many soldiers. And when something like that happens, it's a tremendous blow. Particularly, we were a very close-knit unit. How Windy 2.5 comes about is the unit is a historical unit from the days of Vietnam. It's called Big Windy, F Company 159th Aviation at the time. And Big Windy had a very historical record in Army history. We were very close-knit anyway, and so when something like this happens and our brothers don't come home, it was a tremendous blow. And as you can imagine, we also have to continue the mission. So we have to compartmentalize our thoughts and our feelings and our emotions in order to make sure that we continue with the mission and keep people safe on the battlefield.
Do we do enough to support the emotional needs of our military when you have a loss like that?
I think we all try to do the best with our peers and our support network that we have. But as you can see with returning soldiers coming home, I think there are soldiers that don't have an outlet. And I think that's where we really need to focus our efforts and make sure that soldiers that don't have a family support network or a peer support network like us, or even the group that we've created with the Windy 2.5, where we have an outlet to show our respects to those that we lost, show our respects to their families, and show our respects to the community to say, hey, this happened, and we don't want you to forget our loved ones. We don't want you to forget our heroes. That type of outlet is important to us and lets us heal. It's very cathartic in that sense. But soldiers that don't have that outlet, I think we need to pay attention to them and really give them the focus and the support that they need.
Very, very important. I always say that when military members return, that we need to wrap our arms around them as a community and make sure that they have what they need. It sounds to me, Craig Wilhelm, like your military family, your unit, you guys all really were close and you bonded. And I wonder, Dave and Shane, what is your take from what happened with Windy 2.5?
For me personally, I was just newly assigned to the unit. I heard about the crash on the news before I even arrived to the unit. I didn't personally know the persons on the plane. So I came into this unit cold, not knowing anyone. So I got to see the reactions and how people remembered the crew and the people in the unit and then become part of that family. So that's why I joined with Craig to be part of this organization, because of the family bond that we developed overseas and serving together, not just together in times of war, but our unit was stationed in Germany. Even being back home in Germany, we would spend our weekends together, trips together. It really was just a big extended family that really enjoyed being around each other. So you see how that impacted your brothers that you served with. 2 decades of war now. We all have lost personal close friends. We all know how that feels. So to be a part of that and to be able to support those families and our friends who have lost is nice for me personally to be able to support that.
Dave, you were new with the unit. What about you, Shane? Had you been with them for a while?
Yeah, I'd been with the unit for about 2 years. And like Dave said, he hit the nail on the head. You know, we were based out of Germany. I think that's a part of what tied to make us a lot more like a family is people were based there for longer than a normal unit. You know, we might have people in the unit for 6 years as opposed to a yearly high turnover rate in a normal Army unit. And so we grew really close together from when we were deployed and came home. You're waking up with those people.
Well, the incident with Windy 2.5, it went down and you had losses both within the unit and also civilians. That was in 2005.
Right.
And nowadays, I know I always hear from you because you're coming back to Las Vegas and you're really proving you won't forget all of these people that were lost and their families. You continue to support those individuals. What did you come up with and how did this happen? Both Dave and Shane are also on the board of this big event.
Right. The Windy 2.5 Memorial Fund we created because we always knew we wanted to do something to give back to the families and let them know that we recognize their sacrifice and that we honor their loved ones and that we will never forget their personal sacrifices, never forget their loved ones' life stories and our loved ones' life stories. Because while we were close-knit, there's a brotherly and sisterly love there. We were coming to Vegas just as a group. Anybody that wanted to come, we would offer it out and we would have unit members come and enjoy time together and reminisce and what have you. The impetus for the race was we really decided that now's the time to really give back to the families. So it was really important to us to do something where the families felt challenged, that they were doing something to give back to their loved one that they wouldn't otherwise do by themselves. So we decided that we would create a race. We created it in Vegas, partially because this was a place we were coming back to, but another reason we had to find a place in the United States that had a high military population. You mentioned 135,000.
About 150 with retirees.
150. We also found out that there's also a large population of military surviving families here in the Las Vegas area and surrounding areas that have lost loved ones to military service. So we thought it was a great place with the military population and the surviving population, and that it's a destination area people can get to fairly easily. So we decided we wanted to create a race called the Windy 2.5 Memorial 5K. It's the 8th annual this year, so we've been doing it for the last 8 years, and it marks the 13th anniversary of the accident of Windy 2.5 on 6 April. The race is on 7 April, so it's actually going to be more important for us at that time because it's the same weekend that the aircraft went down.
Have you always been able to plan it on the same weekend?
We do. We try to plan it around that same time. And, convention schedules and things like that do get in the way, but we try to make it within 2 to 3 weeks of the actual accident. And while that is emotional, heart-wrenching, and difficult for many of the families, it also is a way for all of us to come together and rally around them and give them a hug, tell them that we will not forget.
I would hope it would also be somewhat cathartic.
It is, yeah. And I think the theme here is that it really is a big Windy family, that the Windy 2.5 Memorial Fund has created a family. The race feels like a family. What's been interesting, we only knew the 5 soldiers that were killed in our crew members, but there were 13 passengers and families that we didn't know. They came from all different parts of the Army, all different parts of the battlefield in Afghanistan. They happened to just get on the aircraft that day by chance. And so now through this race and through press, the wonderful things that you've done, families have reached out to us that have been families of our passengers, and they've asked us if they could come to the race. So now they've become part of this extended Big Windy family. And that's, I think, one of the most amazing accomplishments of this race. We really do make it about them. We make it about their loved ones, remembering their life story and their legacy. Soldiers from our unit fly in from all over the world. We have some that are deployed. Some of them come in for their 2 weeks leave to run the race with their families, and they rally around the other families that lost their loved ones in the accident.
Craig Wilhelm is with us today. We're talking about Windy 2.5. It's a 5K event coming up. Did you say 7 April?
7 April, yep.
We also have Dave Ramsey and Shane Hubbard in with us today. You said it's the 8th annual event for this 5K. How much has it grown?
Just to give you an idea, last year to the first year, we've had wonderful sponsors hosted by the Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas. The race starts and ends at the Cosmopolitan's Casino Strip entrance. So it is one of the only races that starts and finishes on the Strip, which is a fantastic hoot. The Cosmopolitan hosts it. They were the sponsor from the first year. It was their first year in existence, so they were wanting to really put their best foot forward with veterans organizations like ourselves. So we were able to tap into their wonderful generosity. But that year, we probably had 100 runners, and we had one family member. Some of them weren't ready to come. This past year, we had over 20 family members representing their loved ones, and we had over 100 soldiers from the unit rallying around them. So you can see how that escalates. And it's been a joy to see how much impact it has allowed them to have and how much remembrance they're able to give to their loved one. Last year, we had over 350 runners.
Is it limited to just those people in those categories?
No, it's not. It's open to everybody in the community. You can go to our website, windy25.org. There's a race tab for the Vegas race on 7 April 2018. Anybody can sign up. It's $40. That includes a T-shirt and a race medal. And all of that money goes to organizations like ours that help support families of fallen heroes. We don't keep any of the money.
We have our Talking Solutions Facebook page. We always put links and information there along with a podcast of our discussion today.
Thank you. American Airlines, one of our sponsors, has been generous to be able to fly the families out here for free. Cosmopolitan puts our families of our fallen heroes up in their beautiful hotel. There's an after party and awards presentation at the Boulevard Pool upstairs that's open to the public that run the race. And we have the UNLV cheerleaders come out for the race. We have Democracy Prep drumline coming to the race. We have the Patriot Guard Riders of Nevada who come and bring their Harley-Davidson bikes and provide route security for us. And I do have to say that the wonderful men and women in uniform of the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department and the Clark County Fire Department come out en masse to support our event and just are incredible supporters, and we can't thank them enough.
Metro, all of our fire in Southern Nevada, amazing quality people.
Yeah,
They've been great.
I always say that this show, Talking Solutions, gives me the opportunity to talk to the best in Southern Nevada and occasionally people from outside Southern Nevada who are here to visit for a very good reason. So we've got the 5K on 7 April, starting and ending from the Cosmopolitan. Sounds like they've been behind you the whole way. This is terrific.
They've been behind us the whole way. I mean, from day one till now, they're continued supporters and just roll out the red carpet for these families. It's just amazing.
We've got a lot of giving people here in Southern Nevada. We certainly saw a lot of that after 1 October.
For sure.
People from outside our area didn't understand that Vegas Strong is a real thing here.
It is. And you'll see that on our shirts this year. We're going to pay homage to Vegas Strong on our t-shirts because we do believe that the Las Vegas community adds value to our race. They've come out with open arms and embraced us and said, we support you. We will never forget you. And it's been just an incredible support network, in my opinion.
Sounds very symbiotic because it makes you guys stronger. Same thing, having you come and be in our midst. Same deal. We always ask, as part of Talking Solutions, Craig, Dave, Shane, what can we do to help you?
Our biggest thing has just been getting the word out. I think as more and more people find out about it, find out what we're doing and the cause, that they would come out and support it. And as we are growing, I think the more people to know, we get way more support.
We can help you with that. Volunteers.
We would love to have volunteers. We actually have incredible volunteers that come out and make signs and cheer the runners as they go past. And that is always a motivation, especially at mile 3 when you're coming back towards the finish line. So I think it's really important that no matter what you feel that you can give, call us up and we'll put you to work. We loved having folks out there to spectate and to give cheer and to volunteer.
Nike Town's been there every year with volunteers helping with us.
The stores of Nike Town have volunteered every year with personnel, and they come and they do volunteer work. So it's been great.
Where would I direct someone looking to be a part of it or to volunteer? To the website?
They would go to our website, windy25.org, and on the race tab, there's a contact form, and they'll be able to get through to us.
Do we have a deadline for getting involved?
You can actually come the day of on April 7th and sign up at 7:30 in the morning in front of the Cosmopolitan on the casino entrance outside. But there are volunteer opportunities up to that time. Anybody that wants to participate. And I think it's important what Shane said. It's for everybody. You don't have to completely run the whole thing. You could walk it. You could take a stroller and your kids and show them what it's all about and explain to them why we're doing this. It becomes a really familial thing.
Yeah, I think that's important. I mean, we've had grandma out there walking the race with us. We've had gentlemen coming home from the club, shoeless, run the race.
Now in Las Vegas.
Yes,
Come
that's
on.
true. It's true.
We have pictures.
Yes. And it's such a great experience and vibe on the strip that morning with the band and the cheerleaders and
National anthem.
The national anthem is sung prior to the race. It really is just a great, fun event for family. So bring your family, bring your friends, and come out.
And raise more money for a
And
great
raise
cause.
more
Raise money for a great cause. We are all volunteer. We were part of the unit. We don't take any of this money for ourselves. It all goes to support families of our fallen heroes as a tribute to our Windy 25 flight and their families. And I do have to tell you, too, that no matter who you are participating or what have you, while there's a lot of emotion, because there obviously is going to be based on the gravity of what happened, we always also want to celebrate their life and their life stories. So there is a celebration in this as well. To say, hey, you are not forgotten, but families, we're going to celebrate with you. And so it is a really celebratory tone, in my opinion, as well. It runs the gamut of emotion. So I don't think people should resist coming because they think it's going to be too somber. It's a really great event.
Well, it sounds like all the people that you've got involved, from UNLV cheerleaders to drummers to all kinds of things. It's a sad reason for the event, but a glorious outcome.
It is.
As you carry on, and we all know life goes on. Maybe it gives us a perspective on how precious life is. We should not take it for granted.
And for those people that are on the strip who want to participate, come on out. But also take a look at the Cosmopolitan's marquee, because our faces of our fallen heroes of Windy 25 will be on the marquee that morning.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Got some pretty outrageous signage, and we can do some pretty amazing stuff. So it's all kind of headquartered at the Cosmopolitan. Props to American Airlines for flying people in and out.
Can you believe that? They've been our partners from day one. They just believe in our veterans, and they believe in our families of our fallen, and I can't be more happy that they're helping us.
Fingers crossed. I'd love to see you get a bigger crowd than last year. We'd love to help you with that.
We'd love to keep getting bigger. And of course, it's about the money we can raise for families of our fallen heroes that really need it most, but it's also about spreading the awareness. We do have families from the Las Vegas community that come out.
Sure.
We want them to understand that we will not forget. That's the theme.
That's always a question I ask near the end, too. Craig, Dave, Shane, am I forgetting anything?
No, I think we covered it all. Make sure that everybody's welcome and comes out, from pushing strollers to competitive racers, because we also have competitive racers every year. It's a certified 5K. So if people are going out there to personal best, they get timed, and it's a legit event.
I've done enough of these shows about different events. We were talking about a 5K and a 1 mile fun run and walk for awareness. And they said, we actually have a virtual category. If you can't come out, you can still donate. You like that idea?
So we do have a virtual category.
There you go.
We have a shadow run. So anybody that cannot make the race in the strip, you can sign up for a shadow run in your community. And it's a great way for you to showcase our mission to your community and to let them know that there are a population of people and families that are suffering and could use our help. So I encourage you to look at our website, windy25.org, go to the race page, and you can sign up either for the Las Vegas race or the shadow run. The shadow run, you still get a t-shirt and you still get a medal.
And the t-shirt this year is also going to have Vegas Strong on it, just saying.
It is.
Collector's item.
Yes.
Full shirt this year.
That'll be great. April 7th is the date, or 7 April, as we would say it in
the
military terms.
At 9 a.m., sign-ups the day of start at 7:30, or you can pre-sign up on our website, or you can come to the Cosmopolitan on Friday between 11 and 6 at the Condesa Ballroom, West Tower, 2nd floor, and we will have registration and t-shirt pickup and packet pickup there.
And all the information will be on the website, windy25.org. It's remembering the people that were lost with the incident with Windy 25 and also supporting their families. And you know, you guys are aware of this more than anyone. We believe that military members' families also serve. So we want to remember all of them. And do you guys ever get tired of hearing someone say, thank you for your service?
I don't. I appreciate it.
Yes, we all appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate you, and we're glad that you're involved. And gosh, you guys came from out of town to be on the show. It is windy25.org. We have Craig Wilhelm, Dave Ramsey, Shane Hubbard. Thank you so much for joining us today on
Thank you for
Talking
having us, and
Solutions.
Thanks for having us.